Today I'm going to be talking about and creating a piece of artwork with Tombow dual brush pen markers. These are super popular with mixed media artists and card makers, stamping fanatics. They're great for a lot of different reasons. They're acid free, they're super water soluble, which means when you add water, they kind of melt like watercolors. They come in 108 really beautiful colors. These are the ones that I have, obviously not 108. I wish I did. And today I'm going to be demoing just a project as I would use them to make some cool art. I'm working in this Strathmore journal. This is filled with 140-pound cold pressed paper. It's really, really awesome for watercolors and for anything with a real wet application. Oh, she's ugly. So I'm going to find a nice blank page and then get started.
All right, so as you can see, I'm just drawing this with a regular school pencil and I'm doing a 3/4 portrait. Now, if you need assistance drawing 3/4 portraits, if you want to either follow me with this video, and feel free to, just remember you can always pause as much as you need to. Beauty of video learning, and draw along with me. Those guidelines, I actually have these listed out. I actually have a cheat sheet with these guidelines on them. I totally forgot when I was creating this video, but if you would like a free copy of that, just let me know in the comments and I can actually drop you a link that will it will land that right into your inbox. But you basically set up the guidelines as shown, and it makes it really easy when you're using a photo reference as well, just for inspiration. She doesn't come out anything like the photo reference, but I always use references anyways, just because it inspires eye shape and nose placement. Even if you decide to take it in a completely different direction, which I 100% do. So fun. So the Tombows come with dual tips. One tip is a brush nib and the other one is a little bullet nib. So I like the Tombows also for that reason. I didn't really show you them with the caps off at the beginning, but they're great because you have the best both worlds in terms of like having a paintbrush or having a little, like almost like a little fine liner so you can do outlines and such. So that's another huge plus of using Tombow markers for your project. So once you have the full drawing done, I like to swatch really quickly. I don't like surprises with my art projects, not all the time, especially if I'm doing a face. So I'm mapping out the colors first and writing them down so that I know exactly what is going down. So as you can see, I'm holding my Tombow almost parallel to the paper. That lets me use the side tip of the brush nib to lay down like a big chunk of color. It's super fast this way. Otherwise, you're drawing with, if I was holding it like a pencil and using just the tip, it would take forever to fill in all those spaces. And if you notice, the first layer is like a large region of her face. And then the second layer, it's not quite as much. And you'll see what happens when I add the water and how I use that technique to blend them together better. This is also why I use a reference photo, because it helps me decide where my shading is going to go. Instead of having to guess, you just look at the photo and be like, oh, I'll do it that way. Thanks for the idea. So sometimes I use photo references just for indicating where the shading is going to go. So little hot tip for you. So now I'm just taking like a big brush that just has water in it. There's no ink in there. It's just a water brush. And see if you can see the amazing water solubility of these awesome products is that you just by adding water, it melts them all together. So then you have the different shades that we've already put down and then they blend and you just use the water to move the inks around right on your paper. So I don't think I emphasize the importance of paper enough at the beginning, but again, this is a 140-pound watercolor paper and the paper is as important as your art supplies. So if you were doing this exact same project on a regular piece of paper, like it would be a disaster. So I cannot emphasize enough the importance of doing water-based projects with the correct paper. It's literally everything. So again, I'm just using water. That is it. Now, what I didn't show is the fact that I actually dried that first layer with my hair dryer. So it's really also important to make sure your layers are dry between each one. If you go in wet, I feel like it really compromises the longevity of your marker. All markers don't like to be added into wetness. So I always dry my layers before going back again. And what's cool about that too is that you go back to then having the most control over your art supplies. So I often do more than 1 or 2 layers when I'm doing any water soluble media. So I will do like a whole, and you can just see me doing it right here. So I'll lay down really, really big swaths of that color. Again, I'm using the very side of my brush, holding my brush parallel to the paper so I can get a ton of area covered with very few strokes. And then as you'll see, I'll activate all of that with the water, and then I will dry it, and then I'll do another layer. So I rarely am satisfied with just 1 layer. Just wanted to draw that to your attention in case, just to give you like a big picture of kind of my process when I'm working with these. Another cool thing you can do is do like 2 full layers like I'm doing right now wet. And then a lot of times I will do the final layer and I won't activate it. So that way it like brings the details forward. And it's a nice touch on top of all the like watercolor flowing goodness down. That's already down on your paper. Now, the one drawback that I don't love about Tombows is that they're not light fast. So definitely keep that in mind. If you want to sell your work, I would not recommend selling your originals, but you can safely and awesomely make prints of your work and then sell your prints, because these will fade, which is so sad. Now, they won't fade as much if they're in an art journal like this. So I've created pieces for many years ago that are still look amazing, but that's because they're in, they're hidden from the sunlight and there's no UV exposure, so they don't fade as long. But you're typically not selling your art journal pages, so then yeah, there's that, which is bad. So this that I'm using right now is actually a pocket brush pen by Pentel. It's my favorite go-to outliner. It has a real brush tip nib that is made up of hairs and not like a solid, like the Tombow nib is like a solid kind of foam shape in the shape of a brush. And this Pentel brush is actually made up of individual synthetic hairs. So it and as you can see, when I'm activating the underneath layers of my Tombows, it will make those move, but the Pentel on top does not move at all. So it's a great, I love to use it on top. And again, those layers, when I'm using my Pentel pocket brush, my layers are dry underneath, because again, the fastest way to kill a marker is to put it into water. So I don't ever show that because that's super boring to watch, as it turns out. But I do love to use that pocket brush pen, and I use it on my drawings as too. I just did like a 16-week series of face drawings on my Campbell Draws YouTube channel, and I always finish it up doing eyelashes and face details and outlines with my Pentel pocket brush. I have a whole video on it for eyelashes on this channel as well. So yeah, so Tombows are fantastic. The colors that are available are unbelievable. They're great for a lot of applications within mixed media that go beyond just drawings. A lot of people use them for stamping, like I mentioned before. And they're just a great all around mixed media. And I do highly recommend having a lot in your stash because they are a ton of fun. I have some more product review videos coming up, like ecolines and some other fun things, how to attack a large canvas. So I will see you in the next video. Have an awesome day.